York City and reaching out across America. It's the Late Joey Reynolds Show. Hey, Jay Sorensen, who are Joey's guests tonight?
Thanks, Shotgun Tom Kelly. Joey's got legendary radio personalities like you. Announcer, singer, actor, my favorite soul man, Bobby Jay, along with Phlash Phelps, the morning guy from Sirius XM's 60s on 6. Pix 11 New York TV news announcer, Tamsen Fadal. From BroadwayWorld.com, Eddie Varley. Comedian and actor Stephen Scott singing Jewish Christmas songs? All right. Plus, an Irish cultural miracle from Yiddish theater scholar, actress, and translator, Caraid O'Brien.
Now, from high atop Madison Square Garden, here's Joey.
Swing, Joey, swing!
Burn, baby.
Joey Reynolds, I love that thing. It's a little PHRNKIEVALLI. That is Frankie Valli. Oh, man, this is very cool to be on 77 WABC. And guess who is here? My good friend, the late Joey Reynolds.
Well, that's very nice of you to introduce me. Am I on your air?
Open it. Sure? Put him on the air. Let's get him on because I love hearing Frankie.
I don't think I'm on the air. I never know. You know, in this place, it just, you know, when someone points, the light goes on, you do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But you could do that with a refrigerator.
True, that's true.
You know.
Which I do usually.
Well, that's the only place you've been able to get jobs.
The only place I can eat, too. So.
No, you know, Phelps plays oldies. Flash Phelps is here. That's who that is.
Yes. Hi, Flash.
Hi there. Hi. I actually do it with the PHLS, PHLPS. PHRNY, PHARM.
See, he does this on satellite.
Yeah, he does it on Sirius.
People pay for this.
Yeah, they do.
The satellite is a subscription. You know, you pay them a fee,
right,
and they entertain you, and they don't have any commercials at all.
No.
So on this show, what we have is we have nothing but. Are we on the air?
Yeah. We have nothing but air. That's what we have. Yeah.
I'm just wondering what you're making all these signals.
No, don't worry about it.
Is there something wrong?
No, not.
Are you sure?
Never anything wrong.
Are you
here.
sure you want to keep this job?
I do.
Well, then do something constructive.
I love this job, Joey.
That's the only one you got. It's the only one I got too. We don't. You know what? Radio's dead. It really is.
Well, depends on who you ask.
Wait, no. I saw a billboard. It says the #1 television talk show is Talking Dead.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been doing here for years.
Oh, man.
That is great.
So, you know, for some reason, I believe that this show here needs to have a bigger stage. You know, we need to be on satellite. I think
Flash,
man,
that would be fantastic.
Now, Flash is really on all over the world. Is it all over the world or just the country?
Well, if you go online, you can get it all over the place. But the fact that you have satellites beamed right at North America and you can hear it everywhere. I remember my first call I ever got, you'll be heard from the Hudson Bay all the way through the Caribbean and Mexico and all the states. Well, I was trying to get fired from all these different radio stations locally, and I figured if I could actually work in every state, this would be a lot of fun. Well, then my good friend Art Volo came to me, and you know, that's how I met Joey, by the way, a long time ago, and I'll explain that one. But Art ended up telling me, hey, they got this new thing going on. Do you want to be a part of it? I said, why not? And my brother-in-law made a comment. He goes, well, what if it doesn't work out? I said, I don't know. He goes, what would you do if this doesn't work? And I said, well, I would just go find another job in an AM or PHM radio station. And he said, then why don't you go ahead and try it? 16 years later, I'm still getting the chance to be on every morning. So
I know, and you
fun.
play the same records over
I do.
and over.
The good part is, as you know, you've done Top 40 radio in the past.
Yeah.
You turn the volume down. The phones never stop. The phones are just going. So the flash phones are flash flooded constantly. So I'm just with them. It's like, oh, and I'm just watching a countdown. So I never get to hear the fact that I'm playing California Dreamin' for the second time this hour.
Well, do you know what I used to do with the contests?
No. What
You know,
did
we
you
used
do?
to say we'll take the 5th call.
Yeah.
Well, I would have my relatives on the line, and I would pretend I was taking 5 calls.
Oh, just so they could get the prize.
Yeah, they're going to get the prize. I don't give a shit about the listeners.
That's flash fertilizer. You got to use the right word. Yeah.
Why bother?
Yeah, there you go.
You know, and they're not there anyway. You know, not mentally or emotionally. They're not there. They're not. I like what Oprah said about voting for Hillary at the time. She says, "Oh, you don't have to like her. She's not coming over the house. You don't know her. You're not having lunch with her. You're not staying at the White House. What do you care?"
That is true.
That was the way I voted, so I didn't vote for her. And then Trump. We don't talk politics on the show, but I just want to mention something about that today. I was thinking about it. I don't know how you feel about not. You don't do politics on the air either.
No, we stay away from it. But I'll did you know he took the fan clan oath?
No,
he
I
did.
didn't.
In 2005, one of the Apprentice episodes, they decided to bring in satellite radio, and they had the two teams that had to make their own song. They had to write a song, and they had to go ahead and get it played on the air. So once they got that done, then they voted on which one they liked the best on the air. Well, it went to the show, and after the show was ready to go on, he called me, and I had him on for 9 minutes. And during that 9 minutes, not only did I have him playing the alphabet race with me, doing the alphabet backwards, he took the entire fan clan oath and got to the end, but he would not do the weird lip noise. He said every line. Now, those that don't know, I got this from Joey. Joey's big line years ago, "I'll pour candle wax on my radio dial."
Right.
And you had this. So when I got into radio, I was so into hearing Joey Reynolds, I decided that I was going to do a fan clan oath, and I was going to call it the Phlash Phelps Funny Farm Fan Clan. So I did, "I'll pour candle wax on my radio dial. No one else comes close by a mile. Our man Flash is second to none, and the competition bites the big one. Spit on the other stations like a geyser. They're nothing but flash fertilizer. Kiss yourself in the place. Hard to reach and do the weird lip noise." Well, Donald Trump did the entire thing except the weird lip noise, and then I gave him the number 1946. So he is in the fan clan. No, I have a presidential elect in the fan clan. The first one.
Well, I last saw him. He was in that Macy Day parade. They put a rope up his ass, and they flew him. Well, he was right next to Garfield because he wanted to be next to a pussy, and it was an interesting time in the Macy parade. Very, very big, very popular.
Fascinating.
But we don't like to talk about him.
No, not at all.
All right.
New York hates him, right? Because he's a traffic jam.
Oh, he is? Yeah. Well, he's going to be a traffic jam. I do the show out of D.C.
Costs us $25 million a day to protect him. And someone would be willing to pay $50 to get the hell rid of him.
And so you're sending him to my city of D.C. We'll see whether
it's unbelievable.
Well, he's going to commute.
Yeah,
with a
that's right.
helicopter.
That is true.
Yeah, and
So we will be both
I think the thing is, if he wasn't married to a Russian, what does she call herself? She's a Soviet spy, whatever it is. But today, I lost my iPad on the flight on JetBlue yesterday.
Oh no!
And because I'm a mosaic, I'll tell you what happened.
What?
I left it in the pouch in the front. I got an early morning flight to come here.
Yeah. So he's half asleep.
And I forgot the iPad. So the way to get it, don't you? Is by satellite, because what you do,
you can ping it, right?
Yeah, and I have my iPhone picks up the iPad and tells you right where it is. I know exactly who stole it. So and you don't have to be Kreskin. You just go ahead and you pluck it out of your phone, out of your iPhone. It tells you what pocket is in.
So
now Art Volo's here videoing, and he went and picked up my at Newark Airport. He picked up my iPad, and my tracking device followed him like Santa Claus.
You know exactly where he was.
This is Google at its best. Now I don't know if you know this or not, but the first satellite tracking device is probably OnStar.
That's right.
And I was the first satellite disc jockey or first satellite radio host. You know that, right?
Tell me the story.
1977. I was the host of Satellite Live. It was the first satellite show in the country.
Oh, great.
Sunday night was Satellite Live. Monday was Rockline. And I was the first host. Jeff Sudikoff and Jimmy Rush, whose father was president of Columbia Pictures, produced the show, and they put me on the air there for 2 hours every Sunday night with Satellite Live.
Is that right?
And I had all these interviews with stars, and they hated me.
Oh, okay.
Because I did everything wrong, like you do.
That's exactly what I've done for most of my career.
But
so
it works. It works. You know why? Because people want you to be wrong because they know they are. And they want to see someone screw up bigger than they do. And that's why they have the reality television. The Kardashians are edited. This is not what they really are like. They're. Do you know their father? Did you ever know their father? I know I'm getting off on another subject here. But did you know, what was Kardashian's first name again? Was it Ralph? I forgot what it was. I knew him back then. I forgot. But Robert Kardashian. He was a lawyer,
Sure, with the OJ case.
Well, that wasn't all he did. There was another one. There was a guy whose wait a minute. Remember the Mandels? Who are the ones that got killed? that killed their father.
The brothers, the
Mendoza?
What are their names? Melendez?
Yeah, Mendez, yeah.
Melendez.
Now, their father was the head of Hertz Rent-A-Car. And he worked for RCA also, so he was one of our guys, you know. Oh, right. And he got killed by his two sons. And they of course, that trial was, I think it was Kardashian that defended that trial.
I don't remember.
I don't know. But, you know, all these things tie in. And, you know, the world is crazy. So, Phlash, you're on a satellite. And I'm on a satellite to find my iPad. You're on a satellite to entertain the public. People are on a satellite so they can find directions to get to New Jersey, because nobody can ever find themselves in New Jersey. You know, it's not laid out properly. First of all, it's in the wrong place. It should be in Maine. But, you know, there's a way that we get around, and you have traveled this whole country.
I have, yeah.
You are the geographic man. And I don't know how you've done it. Have you used a nav system or a Rudolph or what?
I didn't use it for a while, and they were calling me Magellan. This back in 2003. I even said, "Hey, we're about to hit a million subscribers. Why don't we just go ahead and travel the country instead of broadcasting just from one city?" So I decided, let me go all over and go from Maine, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Utah, Kansas, California, Arkansas, Louisiana, Minnesota, Indiana, Illinois, both Dakotas, New York, and the two Virginias, Plains, Idaho, the Carolinas, and Ohio, Connecticut, and Maryland, Nevada, Delaware, Rhode Island, Mississippi, Wisconsin, Vermont, Michigan, Wyoming, Kentucky, Texas, Oregon, Missouri, Florida, Washington, New Mexico, and Arizona, Iowa, and Oklahoma, Colorado, Montana, Nebraska, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Alaska, and Hawaii. And if I could do all that, then I would set some kind of record.
Which one of these has an X?
Luckily, I got to all of them and and did that in 13 and a half days.
Yeah.
So I just had my 50th birthday 8 months ago, and these last 8 months, I decided that I was going to do a thing called All 50 at 50. See, I had been to 49 states by the time I hit 23, 50 states by the time I was 29. So I decided at 50, I'm going to try to do 365 days of all of them. So far, it's been 8 months. I've already done 48 states. I've traveled over 60,000 miles on the ground, 56,000 miles in just my car alone, and 10,000 miles of rental cars.
Wow.
So 2 more states to go. Florida, which I'm going to be doing here real soon. That'll be the 49th in about 9 months, and then heading to Hawaii in about 3 more weeks. So while look at this, Christmas, and we're seeing this kind of weather across the country, and I'm going to be going to Hawaii here soon to make it all 50.
Well, you know, all of this weather is hitting Hawaii, too.
I heard it, yeah.
Well,
in Mauna
now, I don't know if you know this or not. You know what's most famous in the Honolulu is on Waikiki and is on that island of Oahu.
Right.
Now, you know about the islands? Do you know anything about
them? I do. You know, that's how I got into radio.
Well, this applies to you. This applies to you because of the highways.
Sure.
Diamond Head is a mountain.
Right.
And the lane that goes around there is called the Diamond Lane.
The Diamond Lane? When did they have that?
That's how you have more than one person in the car. That's how it got invented. So the Diamond Lane, which you call the Diamond Lane, it's about around Diamond Head.
Oh,
that's where they created that.
Is that right?
Yes,
you know what I did? I just recently, the last time I was back in 2013, you met my dog before, Clyde, and Clyde, I got his ashes on all the islands. That was one place he was never able to go because I got him to 48 states and all over Canada, but I took his ashes recently to Alaska, and I had him in Hawaii on 3 of the islands.
I did that with Les Paul.
Okay, that's the way to go. He's fantastic.
By the way, this is the only guy I know that has had about as many jobs as he has on the radio.
What?
With Joey.
Flash is the only guy you know that has had as many jobs as Joey.
That is true.
Right, as you.
It's probably true.
Yeah.
I've had 40 of them.
You had? Oh, I've only had 17. Oh gosh. You see, mine, I was doing one station a year is what I did until finally I ended up getting this one in 2000. So 16 years later, the same job. So that whole bit about getting fired, it just hadn't been funny. But until today, they're probably listening right now.
No, you know how to keep a job? You keep a job by having an all-night show because nobody pays attention to that. The management's asleep during the day, let alone all night. Now, you know who's coming in here, right? You see who's walking in. Do we have to take a break? Or can
not yet.
Oh, this is Bobby Jay.
Another radio legend.
No, he's not another radio legend. He's a recording artist who happens to have slipped and fell into radio. And, you know, he needed a gig to play his own records.
Want to grab him a microphone?
After the teenagers. Remember Frankie Lyman?
Yes, I do.
Do you know how this all started, this rock and roll stuff? It was really not Alan Freed.
Oh.
No, it was George George Lorenz, the Hound Dog. And Alan Freed was called the Moon Dog. Alan was in Cleveland as the Moon Dog, and George Lorenz was in Buffalo as the Hound Dog. Now, the Hound Dog was on 50,000 watt station in Buffalo, George Hound Dog Lorenz.
Okay.
And when Alan Freed came to New York, he couldn't call himself the Moon Dog. They came. I think his expression was a rock and roll. I think that came from him.
Wow.
They credit him with it. But he was really the inspiration for Frankie Lyman by putting him on his rock and roll shows. Isn't that right, Bobby?
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Or are you just agreeing with everything I say?
I knew the guy who was the Moon Dog. He used to walk on 6th Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Harden. He walked in Viking clothes. He had a big helmet, and he sued Alan.
Right.
So Alan could no longer call himself
Well,
Moon
you know
Dog.
what really he was mad at, though? He hung around the Brill Building because that was a publishing place, and someone stole his publishing, so he wanted revenge. He stood there with a spear. And, you know, I'm thinking of doing that in front of Trump Tower. We got to take a break. And the fabulous Bobby Jay is here. I love Bobby. And also Phlash Phelps. I love him, too. These are my friends. And I love sharing you guys. It's a Christmas special. And there's nothing better than having the radio family. Because you guys are, you know, radio's and records had a divorce, and we're the kids, we're the leftovers.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
All right, this portion of the Late Joey Reynolds Show brought to you by Plainview Chocolate Works. Imagine your corporate logo in sweet Belgian chocolate. Great holiday gift, too, at 516-252-3855, and let them create your logo as an irresistible edible creation.
Now it's just digital. Everything's digital. But we would take the stuff that we were going to say over the intros of the records, and then they would put that on the record itself, and we didn't have to show up for the show. You know, we could do a 4-hour show in 20 minutes, and they didn't have to pay us. So that was one of the little tricks. It's called tracking.
Yeah.
Now, Bobby Jay, did you ever do that?
Unfortunately, yes. At Sirius XM.
Me too.
It was the worst experience of my life.
Oh, no.
I was on 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. I had a 6-hour show, 6 to midnight. I would come in on Sunday night to record the Monday and Tuesday show. And 45 minutes after I went into the studio, I was back in my car driving back to New Jersey. That ain't real radio.
No, it's not.
No.
You know? I didn't like it at all.
Well, you know, you're a great jock and a wonderful man and a great talent. I don't mind saying that. It's not
Thank
false
you,
flattery.
Joey.
And with as a performer also, you know, did an off-Broadway show. He's done a lot of things. Bobby's done a lot of things.
I was with the teenagers last night. We were doing the Westbury Music Fair.
I love them.
Yeah.
I used to cheer. You know, I love those jackets those contradiction suits you were wearing. You know, the red pants and the green jackets. And all, you don't have one of those, do you?
Absolutely not.
Not anymore. Can you do Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
Sure I can.
Let me hear it.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it?
That's it, man. No, that's great.
Well, I'm the bass singer.
Bass guy.
I'm the
Mr.
bass singer.
Bassman.
Okay.
Can you do Mr. Bassman? Can you sing that one?
Boom, 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 boom.
There it is.
And I can do boom,
Old Johnny Cymbal.
That was another one.
And Ronnie Bright of the Valentines was the bass man.
Yes, he was.
Excellent.
We are
Sorry.
missing a lot of this culture because it was the street that talked in those days through the music. And now the street barks. And it used to talk, you know, and it got loud. And I don't know, how do you feel about... hey, Hamilton was not the first Broadway rap show. It was Russell Simmons' show. Def Jam, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
And
saw that one.
yeah, and that was a poetry that was done to music. Russell Simmons was on Broadway before Hamilton with that thing. I just wanted to mention that in case I get on Jeopardy. So what I want to ask you, Bobby, is you're a black man, and we should put that on the air here.
I am?
Well, someone has to tell you. And, you know, and, you know, when you were on the air, we were a little bit different about minorities. I don't like the word minority. We were a little different about color. Yeah. And the whole industry was, not me. But, you know, I don't really care. I like... I want to say something about that. Chuck Leonard was also a black guy. He was on this station, as a matter of fact, on ABC in New York. Now, nobody ever really gave you what you should have.
That's true.
And I believe that you were probably the best jock on the station, as I recall, the most talented and personable guy. I just want to say it on the air and put it out there, because you never got what you should have gotten.
Tell me about it.
All right, I am.
Not even in the paycheck. I didn't.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Well, that's where it counts. Everything's about money. But I wanted to mention that. And Chuck Leonard, I think they took good care of him, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
He was only on an hour, though, at night.
Oh, then I didn't take good care of him.
I hosted his memorial service.
Oh, wow.
Well, but now, most of the television shows have got black hosts now. You got everybody. Steve Harvey has probably got 15 shows, And it's good. It's good to see the mix.
Trivia question for you.
Yeah,
Who was the first person of color to host a game show?
Ooh, Oprah?
No. Adam Wade. The show was called Musical Chairs.
How about that?
I would
Remember
never
Adam
know.
Wade?
I
Tell
remember
him
it.
for me.
Yeah.
I would never have known that.
Yeah.
Never known that. I wouldn't have even thought of that.
I wouldn't have either. No.
But
You've been singing since 1954.
55.
55.
Now, the Music Authority is here, Ron Farber. Now, Ron collects all the records. He's got the second biggest, largest collection of records probably in the country. First is Steve Resnick out in California. We'll see him when we do our show from L.A. But now, what is it that you know about Bobby that we should know?
Oh, he's a friend, great. But Bobby has some phenomenal stories about the Apollo in the early days when he performed there. The guy with the hook, you got to tell this one.
We were talking about Amateur Night, which was started by a good friend of mine, the late Ralph Cooper. Coopy Doo, and when the acts would come on and they weren't very good, there was a character there. They called him Puerto Rico, and he would come out with the hook and grab them and pull them off. Now, when they did the television show, it was Sandman Sims when they did it on on NBC. But Puerto Rico, he was the guy. He'd come out there and he had on an outrageous outfit, and he had this big hook, and he would grab the hook and drag them off into the wings.
Didn't guy do that at the Apollo?
Yeah,
they have the amateur Wednesdays at the Apollo.
That was Wednesday night. It was Wednesday night at the Apollo, and
you probably wonder how I know.
How do you know?
I got dragged.
Were you doing Rats in My Room?
Yeah. That was a hit.
No, Rats in My Room didn't do it. Okay, that was a really good one. I have that one. It warps a little. You might want to give me a better copy. I have a 45, and it doesn't spin right.
Well, it never did.
There's something wrong with our version of it.
He doesn't spin right.
Yeah,
That's what
something is wrong.
You're going to be looking for work.
I'll get
need
it
to
to,
get
I'll get
Rats
it
in
to
My
you,
Room.
Flash.
You're going to be doing the Bobby Jay show. You're going to be doing that bassman thing.
No, well, Bobby's got an internet show, too,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, where?
RadioMaxMusic.com.
You play records?
I play, well, nobody plays records anymore. It's all digital, as you said.
Yeah.
But Monday night and Wednesday night, it's called Great Soul Performances on Monday, and Wednesday, Great Soul Performances to the 80s. Because I wasn't a part of the 80s. I was at WCBS FM, and prior to that, WWRL. So this is all new to me, the 80s music. But we have a ball, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm enjoying it. I got the #1 show on Radio Max Music.
I'll bet you don't know that Frankie Crocker was my intern in Buffalo.
Really?
Yeah.
At KB?
Yes, he
Really?
would hang around and get tips, and then he got.
And then he
bigger
went
than
over
me.
to WFO.
Oh, I know, I hated him.
WFO.
And you know who I started to work for when I was at 20th Century Fox? They assigned me to Barry White, who was one of his best friends. You know? Can you imagine me with Barry White? Barry said, "You had dropped on your head when you was a baby."
He was right.
Yeah, thanks. So Bobby Jay, Phlash Phelps, two of the greats. You guys are so great. I'm going to give you a standing ovation on my. Let me give you a standing ovation.
Oh, that was very nice.
You guys are great.
Thank you,
Usually I give
Joey.
standing ovations because I don't have chairs.
Yes.
All right, that is fantastic. And we're also on KABC at the same time?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And
How about
iHeartRadio,
that?
too.
All over?
Everywhere, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, what do we got to do?
Got to take a break.
No.
Yes, we do. This sweet-tasting part of the Late Joey Reynolds Show is brought to you by Vape.com. That's V8PE.com. With the best vaporizers, sweetest juice, liquids, and more, join the cloud chasers at V8PE.com. The Late Joey Reynolds Show. Happy holiday.
Do I have to put these things on my ears?
What?
I'm wearing headsets now again. You know, I had those brush headsets. I don't know if you ever know what they were, but they would make you. First of all, when you talk too much, there were little knives that came out and pricked your ear.
Is that what's wrong with me?
Program directors used to do that, yeah. They would prick a lot of people's ears. There were so many pricks in the programming department at NBC that I just thought that maybe I should probably go see an ear doctor. I'm thinking about my relationship that I have with people in the show business area. Mm-hmm. And one of the good friends is Eddie Varley. Mm-hmm. Now, this is Christmas. Now, I used to go to Eddie Varley's good friends with Andrew McArdle. Mm-hmm. And Andrew was here a couple weeks ago. Yes. Andrea's brother, Michael McArdle, who also was a Broadway actor, and he became a yoga instructor. He's a good teacher. Mm-hmm. And Andrea's daughter from her marriage, who also is talented, and Eddie Varley. Every year I'd go to the Tropicana in Atlantic City. Yes. And they would do their Christmas show for a week. She would take off. She was Beauty and the Beast at the time, I think, when she first did it. And I would go and watch them do this Christmas thing. Eddie would dress up as Santa Claus. He's a little too thin to be Santa.
Yeah. The first year they didn't have a fat suit, and I looked like Santa was on dialysis. So we joked.
Yeah, but I always thought Ronald McDonald was an anorexic. For a clown that represents hamburgers, you should have some fat ass. Why would you have this guy that needs to eat?
No. Even the kids, because that was the McArdle family Christmas, and Joey would come down and it was us, and it was a cast of about 70 other kids, and the kids would even go, "Are you really Santa? You're not fat." So I'd take pillows from my room in the Tropicana. Every night I get fatter and fatter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we have the Pillow Man on this station,
Yes.
So, you see that round. It comes compact.
Joey, I'm
My
going to hand you
There you go.
My Pillow.
There you go.
It's the best.
Does that work, actually?
Yeah.
I was going to order one of those.
Oh, no. You know what I do with this?
What?
Oh, well, first of all,
Give it to Eddie for Christmas.
No. I take it on the plane. And
For
a
my
lot
Santa
of people
costume.
take those things for the backrest.
Yeah.
I take this to jam the dog that's sitting next to me.
Oh, no.
Tamsen is a dog lover.
And beat the fat guy that I'm leaning my hand on when I'm in the middle seat.
I would order one. They look comfy.
No, what you do is you open the thing up and you put it in the dryer after you're through. The guy that invented this is on radio and television all the time.
He does a
now.
good job of selling that.
Yeah,
he really
well,
does.
it's a good idea.
I'm convinced.
And now, and the guy that I'm working for here, Mike Cave. Where's Mike? Is he around
He's
here?
around somewhere.
He has decided to do to socks what they were doing to t-shirts. Putting logos and everything on it. I don't know.
Nice.
That's coming next.
Okay.
Everybody's putting things. The tattoo world that we live in.
Sure.
Yeah, they're marking everything up now. Eddie, you brought someone with you when we're talking.
Introduce her.
We start chatting because we're such old friends. Well, this is actually a very old and dear. Well, she's not old, but a dear friend of mine.
Careful,
Eddie.
Eddie.
No. Tamsen Fadal, and she is one of the number one anchors in the number one market in the world here at WPIX. And she is there.
She was on anchor. I used to see her on the morning show.
I used to do the mornings, and now I'm at night. 5, 6,
I was on
and
all
10
night,
o'clock.
and I would see you when I got off the air.
Oh, yes. I used to have 2 a.m. mornings. And a few years ago, switched over to the night side. So
now she's 5,
get some sleep.
6, and 10. Right?
Well, she's 5, 6 is a good height.
Yeah. Why don't they?
I wish.
I think
10's not good.
I wish.
No. But the thing is that Tamsen and I met because of Mike and I.
Mike McArdle.
Yeah, in a past life, and here we are.
Did you take yoga? You take the yoga too?
I love yoga. I've never taken Mike's class though, but I heard he's great.
I met him in yoga. I've been doing Bikram yoga for about 18 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow,
that's
very
why
nice.
I'm so lovely.
It is. You're so I feel very calm in here. You feel very balanced.
There's a lot of serenity here, and a lot of BS too.
Tons.
Did you first meet Mike by taking his yoga class? Is that how you guys?
No. I met him because we went to those meetings where you go when you're not supposed to do what you do.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Hi, Joey.
Yeah, and that led to yoga.
I get you.
Very nice.
That's
and
right.
we did.
That's right.
I'm friends with Bikram, since,
Right, of course.
Now, you're beautiful. You know that already.
You're very kind. Thank you.
I don't have to.
Thank you.
I just want people on the radio to know
okay.
that you're exceptionally good looking.
Stunningly beautiful.
And when someone is that good looking, you got to know that the guys are going to hit on you.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And I'm not too far from that. The only thing is I'm a little older, when you get a little older, it's
So you're just more subtle. You're just more. It's just
no, I just don't. I have less to offer.
Okay.
Takes more time.
And you're
Let's put it
reading.
that way.
You wrote a book called The New Single.
I did.
Yes.
I
And
did.
you know, I thought it was about money.
Oh wow!
I thought
no,
a
it's not.
$20 bill was the new
There's a money
single.
section in there actually.
It's a good,
I'm a guy who has a divorce because I moved around a lot. My wife said I never listened.
Okay.
And we moved too many times. And I wanted to be in this business. She was a golfer, and she traveled a little bit. But this got outrageous, you know, all over the country. And it's not good for marriage when you're married to your career.
It's difficult.
Now,
It
you
can be
have that
difficult.
now, don't you?
Yeah, I am. I've always been. I mean, I moved around a lot, too. I started in Oak Hill, West Virginia, Market 145, if you even know where that is.
Well, I was in Wheeling, by God, West Virginia.
Oh, you were.
Yeah.
So I was in Oak Hill, Beckley Bluefield, Charleston, you know, all those places,
Oh, yeah. Well,
right?
the guy who owns this station, the people who own the station, their father was who hired me in Wheeling.
Right. Oh,
It was
very
his
nice.
first station.
I know Wheeling. I went to, for extra money on the weekends. I used to shoot the football games there in Wheeling, West Virginia, because I was as a reporter, cub reporter, starting out shooting my own stuff, editing my own stuff, reporting in front of the camera. So that's where I started. I started in West Virginia, and I moved around a lot too.
Well,
Pittsburgh,
I had
Philly.
experience with a lot of you guys because I was on Wheeling Island with the hookers.
Oh,
And people would show up with the cameras.
yes, cameras are plentiful.
Everyone
are
needs a
plentiful.
hobby. Everyone needs a hobby.
No, I'm just joking. Don't take me serious with that because that's
Don't
bad for
worry.
my kids.
Don't worry.
And grandchildren. But I got older and I got a little more settled down
Sure.
on traveling, you know, and I liked, I had 15 years, I think, on WOR, almost 15 years. And here, you know, we just started this a few weeks back. But I love you. You're great.
Oh,
And
you're very kind.
Yeah, I know because I tell the truth.
Good. I like
And, you
that.
know, we ask people to be on the show that we like. We don't ask people to come here so that we can make them, you know, find out their bad spots.
Right.
Eddie has been doing a Broadway review show, too. He's done a lot of things. He
Yeah.
even had it wasn't a sex club, but it was a mating game club, right?
With Tamsen, we were on the Lifetime show, Match to Manhattan. I did that with her.
Oh,
the
I didn't know
Lifetime
that.
show.
Didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
She
a lifetime ago.
a lifetime ago, and we all worked in a business of love, and but now she's the new single.
Yes, yes.
She's still, but yeah. So we did that together, but Tamsen. When I was excited when we were coming here because I know how much you love Broadway.
Yeah.
She has a show, Broadway Profiles, that she does, and we just went to see. You have to see it, Dear Evan Hansen. It's fantastic, but she loves Broadway too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you and I are two good fans of the vampire.
Dance of the Vampires, Michael Crawford.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Jim, what's his name?
Steinman,
song.
Jim Steinman, sure.
Yeah. I mean, we really have journeyed a lot through Broadway and try to find some sort of a place where it was pop.
Right.
And I think Hamilton, that's a home run for,
Sure it is.
for this culture.
Yeah.
But we never really got the other one down. You know, we didn't get the
Yeah.
rock and roll. I guess you could call Jersey Boys.
I mean, Jersey Boys was really successful in
Yeah.
bringing in a different group of audience, but it didn't become that phenomenon like Hamilton is. You know, Rent almost wanted to recreate it.
Yeah.
Right.
But these things, I think, you have to think Hamilton's amazing, but will Hamilton be able to be performed by, you know, a school in Iowa where they might not be able to do it as well? It's going to be interesting to see how that grows. Whereas Jersey Boys, those classics on tour,
all the songs are hits.
Yeah, all the songs are hits. But this Hamilton just came out with the Hamilton mixtape, which is burning up the charts. So
Yeah.
that might open the door, might break it through.
I'm excited to see what's happened. You know, I started doing this show a few years ago. I anchored the news, and but Broadway's always just been this passion of mine, and I love seeing the arts. I love seeing the kids, and what really convinced me it was important. I went into one of the theaters to go and shoot my show, and I saw a group of kids. Maybe they were 10 years old, and they were all in front of the theater outside of Matilda, and they had come. You know, they had come to see a show during school hours. And they were part of an art school, and I went, "Wow, this is important. You know,
Yeah.
this is important. This is where they need to be." And luckily, they're right in New York, and it was easy for them to be able to come with the teachers, and it was exciting to see that. And so I've always had that passion for the arts, but to watch
may
what's
I say
happened.
that you are a Lebanese girl?
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
and you know, there's a quality. The Kardashians, are they Lebanese?
No, they're what are they? They're Armenian.
So
Yeah,
in the same region.
Yes, in the same.
That's what they're
Well, yeah, but beautifully annoying. You know, I mean, if you're going to be annoying, you better look good.
Yeah. That's
Well, I'll remind you anytime I'm annoying that.
Oh, you're not ever going to be annoying. So my friend Casey Kasem
Yes.
is Lebanese,
Yes.
and he and I did a lot of things together. You know, in the early days, we did the Recreation War of the World, as a matter of fact, with Gary
wow.
Owens and
Wow.
and Vincent Price, who's not Lebanese.
No.
And Ruth Hussey also not. But you know, I think of that culture with my friend John Antoon in the record business.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, and I have a lot of friends who are eating with pita bread.
Oh yes.
And they get mixed up with this Arab anti stuff that's going on. I didn't bring it up to be antagonistic.
No.
I'm just saying that you know, there's a loveliness of the people. And I'm going to tell you something that you maybe don't know about your particular culture. Kirk Kerkorian, do you know who he is?
Kirk Kerkorian.
He's the guy who owned MGM Pictures and built the Aria Hotel, which is now owned by MGM. But he's a very, very wealthy man and has been successful with hundreds of millions of dollars. And he would not give you $10 to buy a meal, but if it's for Lebanon, he would give you everything.
Wow.
He's one of those,
Wow.
and I'm very good friends, and he's very generous about that region.
Right.
Because people are not treated properly. And when you come here, I mean, you're from here. You were born here.
I am, yes.
But, you know, your parents probably had a little something. They had probably had an issue.
Of course.
You know, but did everybody have an issue when they came here?
I would think. I would think a lot of people.
I mean, the Irish did, the Italians did, and certainly, I mean, they would, you know, I mean, and I think, I think that's the whole idea. You come here, you struggle, you prove yourself, and then you're part of it. That's the whole, you know, that's how it was built, right?
Well, I guess, I mean, Italians were slaves when we first got here.
You couldn't eat in restaurants. There'd be signs. No, literally no Italians too.
Yeah, well, they still have them.
Yeah, well. Down on Belmont Avenue. That's where
Eddie, are we going to see any more of you on Broadway? We
could always hope. I just got done coming back from doing Little Shop of Horrors in Atlantic City. And Tamsen and I are cooking up some Broadway stuff. So
well, I think you ought to bring her back here again.
I'm happy to.
I would love
leave her in the room with me for about an hour.
Well, she's like you. She loves to spread the word of Broadway. But Joe, it's so great to have you back, everybody back, and thank you for having us. This is really exciting to have you back on the airways where you belong, and this kind of discourse and conversation is
real
inspiring.
conversation.
Real conversation is what's missing, and because we joked about the Kardashian world, but what we just went through, and you know, Twitter and tweeting and blah blah blah, but to have real conversation, I'm so happy to have you back.
And Tamsen, you are a very good reporter. I like you very much.
Oh, thank you. I love it. I've had the passion for news for long,
I hope you get whatever
time,
you want.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
A Christmas prayer.
I'll take that. I'll take that gift.
Yeah. She'll give you dating advice too. You're the new single.
I don't know about that.
Our poster boy.
Well, I got to take that porn collection first and get rid of it.
Digitize it. Come on, digitize it. No one needs to have it at home anymore.
And for everything Broadway, you go to BroadwayWorld.com.
My friends, I worked there for many years, but now I'm not there anymore. But the gang at BroadwayWorld.com are really good. Tamsen and I love reading it, and they're great. So yeah, they love Joey there too. So check out BroadwayWorld.com.
Do you know Marvin Scott?
I know Marvin Scott very well.
Well, this is his son, Stephen.
Right there.
I know him very well.
She does indeed. I have no other
How
identity.
well does she know you?
No, Steve, I didn't know that you knew each other.
Yeah, of course we do.
I wouldn't have had you
We're
in the same.
friars,
I know everybody.
and we're what else?
We
and he's very
put up
funny.
with my father.
And he's very funny.
Oh yeah,
She's my new publicist.
No, I was supposed to be at the club last night to see you.
Yeah, and you didn't
over
make
at-
it.
Yeah, you know why? I lost my iPad on the plane.
If
Did
I
you
had
hear
a
about
nickel
this?
for every time I heard that one.
No, this is a new one.
Hope it
Well,
has
we
a
missed you.
passcode on it. You don't want them to get into that.
Yeah, they can't get into it.
Right.
Well, I have a tracking device now.
Good.
You know, and so what happened with you?
What happened with me?
Yeah.
What, since I saw you last week?
Did you have a Jewish Christmas?
Yeah, well, it's a tough time of year when you're Jewish. We get the short end of the holiday stick because you know what? They spend $1 million to light the tree. They spend nothing lighting the menorah. There's 378 Christmas songs, 3 Hanukkah songs. That's it.
There's the menorah song, the dreidel song, and the one Sandler wrote 20 years ago.
Right. That's the last one, right? Exactly.
Right, and I basically what I've been doing is since we got Broadway people here, I've been rewriting the Christmas songs and making them appropriate for Jews.
Really?
Excellent.
You got one of them here?
I could do one. It would have to be a cappella. Obviously, we don't have any musical
Do we have
equipment.
that piano?
No, we
Can't do that thing out?
We'll have to pretend we have one. Would you like to hear my Christmas songs for Jews?
Why don't you do that? Yeah.
All right, you'll recognize the tune. I just changed the lyrics up a little bit. You don't have to watch out. You don't have to cry. Don't even pout, because I'm telling you why. Santa isn't coming to town. That's right, you're not on his list, so here's some advice. You can be naughty, forget being nice, because Santa isn't coming to town. And it's all because when you're a Jew, there's no Santa for you. Cause we have to celebrate Hanukkah, so here's a yarmulke for you. So when Christmas Eve comes, don't get the blues. Forget the milk and cookies and just whip out the booze. Cause Santa doesn't visit the Jews. Now if you see him on the roof with a bag full of toys, pay no attention cause they're just for the goys. Santa doesn't visit the Jews. So now because when you're a Jew, on Christmas there's nothing to do except maybe go see the hot new movie, then go out for Chinese food. So when visions of sugar plums dance in our head, let's not forget what Judah Maccabee said. Santa doesn't visit. That's right, Santa doesn't visit. Everybody, Santa doesn't visit the Jews. You crazy Meshuggah this you. There you go. Little Christmas stuff.
Bravo. Stephen Scott, you'll find him at Dangerfields. He's hanging around there looking for work.
Always, absolutely. Absolutely.
And we're going to take a break. Be right back on the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
That's it. And this portion of the Late Joey Reynolds Show is brought to you by Plainview Chocolate Works. Imagine your corporate logo in sweet Belgian chocolate. Call 516-252-3855 and let them create your logo from an irresistible edible creation. And now back to the Late Joey Reynolds Show.
Stephen is here, Stephen Scott, and he just defamed the Jews.
I did, of course.
Now, I was the host
you
of
might want
the
to clarify that I am one.
But I was the host of the Jewish Hour.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
15 years.
You were the host of the Jewish Hour?
You didn't know that? Come on.
Really?
You were on
Did you have to be circumcised to do that show?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. There was a...
You must have really wanted to host that show.
No, just to be totally honest about it, yes.
Oh, okay.
No, there was a circumvention. They worked around me.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
You remember Mickey Freeman?
Of course.
Let me tell you, Joey, I'm still here, okay? I once stayed in a hotel that was so terrible that even on their postcards the beds weren't made.
That was on the Jewish Hour.
That was on the Jewish Hour.
Where do you think you stole that
from? We love you, Mickey.
Yeah, we do. And I had everybody from the Friars Club, and you're one of them.
Yes.
And now we have a young lady who is really a serious Jew.
Oh, okay.
She's a real one.
Can I tell you something? I'm not a serious Jew. You know how you have Orthodox, Conservative, and Reform? We're one below that in my family. We're Protestant Jews.
No, you're not.
I'm Irish Catholic.
Oh, okay. Because
Are you really?
we're the kind
I am.
And you're doing the Jewish theater?
Yeah.
Ooh, yoy.
Yeah, I was actually on the Jewish Hour about 20 years ago with you. I started studying Yiddish, when I was in college, and now I'm performing in this Yiddish play at La Mama.
What's it called?
It's called God of Vengeance. It's an incredible play. It's the story of a Jewish brothel owner whose daughter has an affair with one of his prostitutes, and everything goes haywire.
Why? Sounds like a good thing to me.
Well, it sounds like a good thing to her as well. But he's trying to become respectable and marry her off to a young yeshiva scholar and, move up in the social world and leave behind his criminal past. But it blows up in his face.
So you wrote this?
No, I didn't. It was written in 1907 by a brilliant Yiddish writer named Sholem Asch. And the first time it was done on Broadway, the whole cast was arrested in 1923 because of the beautiful lesbian love scene in it.
Oh, do you still have that?
Yes, absolutely. That's in the original Yiddish. And this is the first time it's been done in Yiddish since the 40s.
So you have women kissing each other.
Yeah. It's the Yiddish theater was one of the most important American theatrical movements, and it was incredibly progressive. People have this idea that it was just light musical comedy, but they really did some hard-hitting stuff.
Oh,
and
that's
this is one
disgusting.
of those plays.
What a night we've got Lebanese and lesbians all in the same
Lesbianese.
10 minutes.
The only place they really did this was in show business, where women kissed. And men kiss each other. I mean, we're all very affectionate in show business.
Yes, and outside show business as well. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I never heard of that. There's a legend that goes around that the theater began downtown in New York City with these Yiddish players.
Well, absolutely. It was it started in the 1880s. They took over the German theaters, and in the heyday in the 20s, they had 12 Broadway-sized houses on the Yiddish theater. And you can see the influence of Yiddish performance style, and everything from Woody Allen to Jerry Lewis. I mean, these are archetypes that began on the Yiddish theater. So
do you like the crowd? Is the crowd good?
Yeah. I mean, La Mama's a small theater, but we definitely will sell out.
I'll tell you why I ask. I'm on a flight to Florida every week, and it's a dicey routine because we have storms. Like tonight, we're starting to have one now, but I don't know how full blown it's going to be. But when there's a storm, the flights get canceled, and there are women who are complaining. The last time that I had this happen last year, and they were saying that they really wanted to have their meal because it was a kosher meal, and I paid for the meal. I want to have this flight. So that's all there is to it. They want to eat even though the plane's not going. And that's a tough crowd.
They're definitely a tough crowd, but I think this play is worthy of their attentions. Some people are very offended by it, or some people are really amazed by how progressive it is. It'll be a mix of audience. It'll be some older Yiddish audiences and some younger audience as well. It has super titles, so you don't have to speak Yiddish to.
Well, we're on in Los Angeles as well. On KABC.
Excellent.
And we're also on the internet, so people when they come to New York, they can be Jewish.
That would be wonderful. Yes.
And your God of Vengeance, is that what it's called?
Yes.
And where do we see it?
It's at La Mama, and it opens on Christmas Day and runs until January 23rd. And you can get tickets at NewYiddishRep.org, which is the theater company that's producing it.
Caraid O'Brien, thank you so much.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Same to you. Thanks for having me.
Can I tell you, have a Yiddish Christmas, right? As a Yiddish mama, let a smile be your umbrella, but don't get a mouthful of rain.
From the Nouveau Fat Loss Studios, WPLJ HD3 New York, 77 WABC New York, a Cumulus station news.